Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Drive Time where I just talk and I keep you company at work and at play. Anyway, I'm going to start off with a correction. I made a mistake in this week's podcast, or whatever you want to call this thing we're doing. Um, I said that the Golden Age Comet brother, the Hangman, died. He was the first superhero to die in a comic book. This is back in the Golden Age. And I was mistaken. It was the other way around, as one of you so kindly corrected me. It was the Comet that died, and his brother was inspired to become the Hangman. It kind of the first Punisher type vigilante in comics. So I apologize for that. Now, I think last week I said I might tell some stories about hunting because I told a little bit about my hunting experiences because one of you asked, I think it was Joshua Ignatowski, he asked, have I ever hunted? And yes, I did. So I thought I'd tell you a few amusing anecdotes about my experiences in hunting game. Now, my first question when anybody talks about guns or any activity involving guns, be it military or crime or hunting, what do you shoot? What's your weapon of choice? Um, my weapon was a Marlin 410. It was a lever action rifle, but it was chambered for a 410 shotgun round. And a 410 shotgun round is about the length and breadth of your index finger, unless you're a very tiny person or a very huge person. The average index finger is 410 is about the length and size of that. And of course, I was firing bird shot. My choice of lever action was because I couldn't afford to buy a 12 gauge like all the other guys I hunted with. So this is the shotgun I had. I largely had it because it was my dad's. And like me, he was a huge lever action man. I love a lever action, anything. And if I could have had a 12 gauge, it would have been a lever action 12 gauge, which exists. So, but I had this much smaller gauge shotgun, and what we went after primarily was pheasant. Now, who's we? It was me and a high school buddy of mine who lived in Overbrook, which was a section of Philadelphia. But he came out to Upper Darby to go to high school with us on the sly. I think statute of limitations are up on that one. So you made it, Tony. Made it all the way through high school as an invasive species. Anyway, Tony was from Overbrook, and all of his buddies, his childhood buddies, hunted, and he kindly invited me to go along with them. So I was the only non-Italian in the hunting group each time. So we would generally go up to, let me see what I got here. We would generally go up to Morgantown, Pennsylvania. We were from the Philly area. We would, get up at 4 in the morning and, meet up and drive on out to Morgantown. Sometimes there were enough of us, we had 2 cars. And Morgantown is in Amish country. It's a bit north of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, famous population center of Amish folks, Pennsylvania Dutch. And that's where we would hunt. And of course, we're hunting in November. It's the tail end of the harvest season for corn. And that's where we would go. We would go out to the cornfields and look for pheasant primarily. But, if you've ever been hunting small game, by the end of the day, you're shooting at anything. You're shooting at anything that's legal. More on that later. Now, that can also get you in trouble. And if you've hunted before, there are days hunting where you're simply taking your gun for a walk. So anyway, we're up in Amish country, and we're hunting pheasants in cornfields, and most farmers were cool with it. They'd see you pull up, unless the land was posted. If they didn't post the land, they didn't have a sign up, no hunting. You didn't go where it was posted. But if it wasn't posted, you could make the assumption you were welcome there. And one day we went out to a big old cornfield. This thing must have been 100 acres. And we pulled the cars off the side of the road, and we wade on into that corn. Well, way over on another field, they're harvesting corn. And the guy harvesting corn, he was not happy with us. He yelled at us to stop, to stay right there, to stay where we were. And we could hear this guy. He had to be 10 acres away, and we could, or more, and we could still hear every word he said. This guy had a voice like no tomorrow, and he came around uh, on a tractor, and he hopped off that tractor, and he was built like a farmer, man. This guy, broad shoulders, big guy, and he starts pushing us around. Now, this guy's pushing 6 strangers armed with shotguns around like we were kindergartners. I mean, just shoving us, and he was mad, and basically threw us off his land, threw all of us off of his land. Now, there, there's a lot of names common up in the Amish community: Stolzfus, Martin, a bunch of other names, and one common name is Good. A last name is Good, and so we named this guy Bad Farmer Good. And anybody tells you that Mennonites or the Amish are just peaceful, they don't get angry, they're lying. I've never seen anybody in my life as pissed off as this guy, and that includes an ex-wife. Uh, so, now, our other adventure that on a day that went awry was I was with my buddy Tony and one other guy, a guy named Frank, and we were out hunting pheasant. We weren't finding any pheasant. Well, what I should go back. I should go back. Hold on, before I tell that story, I should go back. My best day hunting was when I actually got a pheasant. And remember, there's 6 of us. We're wading through this cornfield. If you've ever hunted pheasant are tricky birds, man. They are tricky. They're smart. What they'll do is they'll wait until you're almost up to where they're squatting in the corn, and they'll suddenly leap up in front of you, which startles you, even if you're expecting it. It startles you. This big bird is warbling, making this weird sound, and leaps up in front of you, and then flies behind you. And so first of all, you're startled, and secondly, you have to turn to fire after it. And because of this, it buys it time to get distance. So anytime you hunt pheasant, you've got to be shooting at a distance. They don't fly overhead like you see ducks or geese. You're not going to be shooting at a flock of pheasants. They go to ground. They're smart birds. They know people are after them. And they go to ground, and they pop up in front of you, and they fly behind you. So me and another guy named Vince, we're at basically the flank end of our line of guys going through the cornfield. And he and I turn. We're the only ones that can get a decent shot at this thing. He and I turn. His big old 12 gauge goes off, boom. My little 410 goes off, crack. And the bird goes down. And we all run up to see, grab it because it's dead. It's ours. It's game. We're going to take it home and eat it. And it doesn't have a mark on it. The 12 gauge didn't touch it. And so I claimed the victory. And Vince was kind of pissed at me, and rightfully so, because in turning, he raised his shotgun to his shoulder, and I fired from the hip like Lucas McCain. I was like a total Hail Mary, forlorn hope shot. I knew there's no way in hell I'm going to hit this pheasant doing this, but I'm taking the shot. And I did. And I'm the one that got it. And it was some argument over that. And I said, look, if your 12 gauge hit it, it wouldn't have a head. But I got it, And later on, when the autopsy was performed, when they basically prepared the bird for cooking, whoever did that confirmed that it was one single piece of my bird shot took the bird in the back of the skull. And we could tell it because the different sizes of bird shot. I was using a finer bird shot than Vince was using. And so I got that kill. Now I'm proud of it, but it was total luck. I'm not that good a marksman. I'm certainly nobody's that good at the hip. I mean, that was just fortune favors the bold moment. Just total, like I said, total Hail Mary, forlorn hope shot, and I made it. But I'm still proud of it. You know, you can be proud of being lucky. And that was my second best shooting day. Well, actually, that should be my first best shooting day ever. If you really want to know my first best shooting day, I've talked about it before. I can always tell that story again sometime, but not now because we're talking about hunting. And as I said, we were out one day and it was the week before Thanksgiving, and we're looking for pheasant. We're not finding them, but we come across 4 wild turkeys, and they're just sort of wandering around the edges of this cornfield. Now, turkeys, unlike pheasants, are stupid. They're the dumbest, possibly the dumbest animal on 2 legs. They got no sense. And they don't seem to realize they're being hunted. And they're just sort of walking in and out of the woods around this cornfield. So we look up, you get these manuals from the, Wildlife Commission or whoever gives you the hunting license. And we look it up and yeah, it's a wild turkey. It's not a domestic turkey. Domestic turkeys look different. These are wild turkeys. These are game. We can shoot them. So we go up to them, and they've now wandered onto a cornfield that's been harvested. So it's just stubs, and they're just sort of pecking around the ground, making the silly noises that turkeys do. And they see us walking up, and they just walk up to them, and we were like, "Well, what do we do?" They're just standing there. This isn't even like hunting. This is going to be an execution. And we're like, well, let's just pick one out and get it. Because once we get one, the rest are all going to take off. So we all aim at this one turkey. And, and it really is an execution. And we arrange ourselves so we're not shooting each other. And we all get this turkey, in the neck, right below the head. Boom. And it goes down. Now, we expected the other turkeys to take off, in a panic. They don't. They just sort of hop up in the air a little bit and make a weird trilling sound and then land right back where they were again. And it's like nothing happened. They're all like, what was that? And they go, well, Joe fell asleep. He's laying there on the ground. So we look at each other and go, well, let's take another one, right? So we take another one the same way. Same thing. The remaining 2 turkeys just sort of leap in the air and then land and just keep looking at us like, hey, another one of us fell asleep. So right after that loud noise, we think about it. Do we want the other 2? Then we realize it's a long way back to the car. These things are heavy. So we're carrying them back to the car, and we get down to the road, and we're loading them into the back in the trunk of the car. And this kid comes up, this Amish kid. Now think of an Amish kid. He's like 10 years old, blonde, of course. He's got the hat on the back of his head, and he's on a bicycle. It's an Amish bicycle. It has no pedals. I don't know if you know this or not, but the Amish, they don't like any kind of gears, in addition to electricity and other things like that. So it's a pedalless bike. You just sort of push it along. It's like a scooter you can sit on, basically. And he comes scooting over the furrows of this field, and he's watching us put the turkeys in the back of the trunk. And he says, those are our turkeys. We're like, what? Those what? Those are our turkeys. Whose turkeys? Our turkeys. They're wild turkeys. Oh, those are our turkeys. We realize, okay, they're wild turkeys, but they were being kept domestic, which explains why we killed them so easy. They weren't used to people killing them. So he said, well, where do you live? And the kid points at this farmhouse off in the distance at the end of this road. And we're like, okay, we'll follow you, right? So the kid, bicycles, pushes himself along up the road, and we're following him at 5 miles an hour. And we finally get to, an Amish farm. and the whole family's on the porch. And they're not upset. They're not like bad farmer good. They weren't angry. They were just sort of resigned to, oh, the English have come to our neighborhood again and done something horrible. And so we went and we talked to the father of the family, and he said we were going to kill them for Thanksgiving. And he goes, but we can eat one of them today. I mean, it's not a big deal. And if you want it, you can buy the other one if you want it. And so we were okay. So they put it on a hanging scale and weighed it, and we paid some ridiculously small amount. Even by 1970 standards, we got this turkey cheap, and we felt kind of bad about it. But they didn't do anything to make us feel bad. They weren't angry. They were just like, this is the way it is. Okay, we're going to have turkey for dinner tonight, even though we didn't plan on it, and whatever. So we get back and we defeather it, which I'd never done before on a turkey. A lot of feathers, man. So we defeather it and we cut it open. And I remember Tony's family dog was a German Shepherd. Boy, he was real curious about what we were doing down in the basement. His nose was in the middle of everything as we're defeathering this turkey. But boy, he took off when we opened it up because the inside of it stank to high heaven. But it didn't have worms in it, and it was, we gutted it and all the rest of it. Made a big mess in Tony's mom's basement, and then they cooked it up the following week and had me over to have some of it. And I'm going to tell you right here and now, it's the best turkey I've ever had in my life. And I've had organically fed, free range, this, that, and the other thing, died in its sleep turkey. But that turkey was amazing, absolutely amazing, best turkey ever. Of course, Tony's mom cooked it, so that I got to give her credit too. Just amazing cook, that lady. Amazing cook. If I was part of that family, I'd weigh 600 pounds. But but it was so those are my big hunting experiences. And I really didn't hunt much more after that. I went out maybe a total of 10 times hunting. And like I said before, I never did big game. I never did deer or anything like that. And my sons and my wife and I played with the idea of maybe going python hunting because we're in Florida, because that might be fun, and we don't like pythons, but that never came to be. I even figured, hey, my 410 lever action would be perfect for that. Oh boy! So anyway, I want to wish everybody happy birthday, America. It is July 4th when this thing drops. And also, I wanted to talk to you about Subscribestar. I got, you people are listening to me. I've got a bunch of new subscribers, and they're all very, very happy with the goodies they got. Your initial physical goodie for being a Chuck Dixon Subscribestar member is these postcards. There's 5 of them. Yeah, I know there's only 4 on the screen, but there's a 5th one. It's a secret. You'll only see it when you open the envelope. And when you become an initial subscriber, you also get a pretty generous package of signed comics along with these postcards, your first physical offering. And then every once in a while, you'll get a new physical piece of thing, a signed comic, a signed this or that. One time I did a little mini wargaming figure of myself. I still have some of them if anybody's interested. And you'll get them every once in a while, and every month you get digital goodies. And the digital goodies are either artwork or unpublished scripts, all kinds of. I gave out my Expendables movie treatment, Expendables 2 movie treatment one time, was one of the digital goodies. So you can expect to get that every month, and your joy will know no bounds as you go to the mailbox and find your new exclusive to you piece of Chuck Dixon merchandise. And you can do all of that by going to Subscribestar. The link is below here. And $5 member will open the floodgates. And Chuck, what do you do with that $5? I pay my starving artists. 7 Deadly Sinners was funded this way. Something Big, My Sister Suprema were all funded by you by subscribing to Subscribestar. And I mean, I'm just pay the artist. I don't get paid until these things actually sell. I have the upcoming Sword of Wood, which I'm working on, which you can be financing right now, as well as another project called Buttermilk. And you can learn about these things at Subscribestar, at my Subscribestar page, because I share early news. If you're interested in anything Chuck Dixon, you're going to learn first about it at the Subscribestar page, because I share all new information as it comes up. So you will be like a fly on the wall of my career, if to stretch an analogy. So that's it. That's drive time. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope I was good company there for a while. And I will see all of you down the road.